Hello and welcome. I am Soma. I am so excited for today's talk with my friend, colleague, and Colorado Castle Rock sister, Jeanette here. What I find so interesting, I can't wait for her to go into more depth, is her way of utilizing mental health therapy and natural living. We actually met in a natural living environment at a talk, at a luncheon, and she really was one who was able to connect the dots between the laundry detergent or bounce dryer sheet you're using or the toothpaste you're using and mental health. So before any further ado, please, Jeanette, go in, dive in, explain, tell us about who you are, why you do what you do, and how unique you are as a therapist. And thank you again for being here and having this conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much. It's an honor. I could talk about this stuff all day, so it's fun. I'm excited to be here.
It is fun.
Yeah. So like Soma said, thank you so much for having me. My name is Jeanette McMahon, and yeah, my background is in clinical mental health counseling. And even when I was getting my master's degree, I always knew I wasn't going to be a quote unquote typical therapist. I just could always see, I've always had an interest and a passion for holistic health. I'm grateful to say my parents were very natural minded. And so it's just kind of always been somewhat ingrained in me. But that connection with mental health, like when I was, in school and then afterwards in practicing, I just could always see, it just felt like we weren't like really looking at the whole picture. And I've always said that we're not compartmentalized pieces of people. And so, you could, typically with a therapist, you go in and talk about your problems, they listen, give you some helpful, ask some questions that hopefully can bring you to the point of coming to your own solutions. But to me, there's so much more to that. And like Soma, you mentioned like dryer sheets and things like that, and when we look at our mental health, like we have to look at that whole picture, and that's just kind of always the approach that I've taken. Because the chemicals that we're exposed to do play a toll on our physical health. Everything is connected. We even see, I don't know if you've heard of the book The Body Keeps the Score, but there's that
great
concept.
Book. I use that in my yoga teacher training.
Oh yeah.
And maybe you can talk a little bit about how that affects, because I think that's an important subject. How does the body keep the score when it comes to cleaning products, healthcare products, and mental health? Can you elaborate just a few moments as you're explaining?
Sure. Well, even just just getting down to like kind of the basics of, I used to talk a lot about, well, maybe I should share a little bit how the cleaning stuff came into play.
Please do, because we met when you were making some fresh cleaning product and you were using Sabitur botanicals in some of your items. And how did that all come about?
Yeah, so I actually spent on top of having my counseling practice, I also spent 8 years with a company that I absolutely adored. It's called H2O at Home, and they made cleaning products actually out of France. And I just learned so much. It seemed like it did not connect, but to me, it was like completely connected, because what I found a lot of times is that the clients that tend to come to me are the ones that are more holistic minded. They don't want a typical a typical quote unquote I want to say like a typical therapist, but they want to look at that whole picture a little bit more. But what I'm finding is that even when people care about their health, the thing that they tend to like, they might eat really well or they might exercise really well and take care of their body in that way, but then they're still using bleach and they're still using Windex or Tide and bounce dryer sheets and things like that. And so it was kind of like this disconnect. But it's not disconnected at all. And so what I found is that when I teamed up with this company, it was like I was bridging this gap, this like lost gap that was there, or this lost connection that was there. Because what we put on our bodies, what we inhale, when we're washing your dishes, that gets on your skin, and those chemicals are absorbed into your body, and they're full of endocrine disruptors. So like that's a very basic thing when it comes to mental health, right?
I want to stop right there. So that was so good. That was packed with so much power. So number one, I know that you triggered some of the people watching. Like, I use a bounce dryer sheet. I use Tide. I use Crest toothpaste. You just named all the big name brands that are big name. People are going to say, how does that really affect my mental health? Then you talked about the endocrine disruptors, big word. A lot of people are like, what did she just say? What does that even mean? And you talked about the people who are really healthy. Oh, I eat this. Oh, I do this juice cleanse. Oh, I do whatever. But then they're slathering on their skin or brushing their teeth or washing their hair or their clothes. What's an endocrine disruptor?
I mean, at the very basic level, it messes with your hormones. Really, I mean, that's like a really simple way to an endocrine system is like essentially the basic, and you probably explain this way better me, but you know, the basics of our hormone system. And so if our hormones are off, it impacts mood, it impacts weight. I remember doing this video a long time ago about how switching out your dish soap would help you lose weight, or how your dish soap is preventing your weight loss goals. So, because dish soap is one of the most toxic products out there. Dawn dish soap, you see everywhere. You see those cute little birds on there, you know, thinking it's all safe, cleaned up the oil spill and things like that. You know, they have all this fancy marketing there that's just greenwashing us, but that's one of the most toxic products out there. When you think about, you know, dish soap, you're washing your dishes, your laundry is a huge one, because every single moment of your life, your body's in contact with the chemicals that you are washing, your clothes, your sheets, your towels, literally everything. You're in contact 100% of the time with the chemicals that are in those products. And so that's a huge factor when it comes to whether it is physical health, like I said, weight loss goals, and mental health. It's all connected. And so, sorry, I don't know if I kind of went on a little bit of a more trail there, but the very basic, to basically answer your question, the endocrine system is right, the foundation of our hormonal system, right? I mean, you probably explain that way better than me, but
the endocrine system is the hormone balancing regulation system of the body. The endocrine system is what gets disrupted when we are in our teenage years, when we are pregnant, when we are postpartum, when we're going through menopause, when we're under stress, when we're changing jobs, when we're changing partnerships. That's where the endocrine system is needing the most support. We are designed to go through stress. And I think that if we're trying to be in a stress-free environment, that's BS. We want healthy, regular stress. So that we can really work with the system. But it would be like saying, I'm going to pull out all these different holes in the regulation system that you want to lean on for healthy sleep, for healthy conversation, for a response system that keeps you in an upbeat mode. How many times is it the people who are super OCD, clean constantly, wash their clothes constantly? Those are the people who I think are really most susceptible to disrupting the endocrine system due to something like Tide, Dawn, all of those things. And you know, and I was a sucker to this with our little Airbnb, and you just made that alarm go off because I was thinking, oh, it's so cute and it's so fun. And of course, I'm not using this because I'm putting this in my Airbnb site. But excuse me, Dawn has a new spray. Have you seen that? It's a spray detergent. You just you have your pan. So if you don't want to have a whole one tiny little spray, and then you run it under water, and it's so fun to spray your soap rather than pour it out and overuse it. So now we're probably bringing it into the air on top of it.
Right. Oh, totally. Yeah. Because that the fragrance in that, right? That's a big thing too, that I used to talk a lot about, is that people would attribute clean to a smell. That's not the fact. That's the fragrance that they're adding to the product. So trick our minds, not trick, but essentially program our brains to think, oh, it's clean, right? That clean smell. I used to hear people say that all the time. I need that clean smell. I need that bleach smell to know that it's clean.
It is a trick. I think it is a trick. I think it's a marketing trick.
Oh,
and you get people addicted to a particular aroma, and they're not buying it for the product of the, power. They're buying it because they're addicted to that scent or smell. And a lot of those places do that, don't you think?
Oh, 100%. Oh, totally. Yeah, that's a whole other subject. But it's not subject, but meaning that's a whole other category of the same situation. And that, and people too, I just want to preface too, because I feel like I'm sounding a little doom and gloomy, but something that I love about this is that this is something really simple. When people are just maybe getting started on a wellness journey, that they're wanting to clean up their environments and their homes and their bodies, it can be really overwhelming. But I really like to encourage people. Well, there's this phrase that I love to use, it to be green enough to be happy and clean enough. I'm sorry, clean enough. Sorry, let me hold on. I'm messing it up. Clean enough to be. No, sorry, I'm totally messing it up.
You got
Hold on.
mama brain right now.
Yeah, totally. Oh my gosh, yeah. 21 weeks pregnant now, and it is.
I was going to say pregnancy brain, but I didn't want to say. I wanted you to be able to announce that to everyone.
Okay. So green enough to be happy. Clean. Oh my gosh, healthy. That's it. Clean enough to be happy. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You want to like edit this out? Let me think about it for a second. It's sane enough to be happy. Green enough to be healthy. Sane enough to be happy. That's it. Because we can get really caught up in, oh my gosh, the world is toxic. And the thing is that stress is going to be just as bad, if not worse, than all the things we're trying to avoid. And so when it comes to things like this, I mean, and that's really like even my perspective, like I know we focused a lot on cleaning right now, but just in general, my mission and my passion in the work that I do, and wherever that capacity is in my stage of life, is built on this premise that we are designed and created to heal and thrive. And so if we're stressing about, it could be like, okay, we're not healing from our trauma. We got to do that work, right? It also could be like we're stressing about the world. And I feel like, especially after the last few years and all the craziness, it's really easy to feel like this world is just like, what is going on? And, I had my first daughter in 2020, like in the midst of all this, right? It was really easy to be like, oh my gosh, what did I bring my daughter into? Right. I mean, it's been wild, right? These last few years, but I really like, again, this whole thing is, my whole mission is built on this belief that we are designed and created to heal and thrive. And so simple things that we can do, there's so many toxic things in our environment when it comes to, I mean, we can't do anything about, right? Like, we're just surrounded. Right now I'm sitting in front of a coffee shop that's also, there's a bunch of condos above it, and I can smell someone's doing laundry. Like, oh my gosh, these toxins, right? There's nothing I can do about that right now, but what I can do is and I'm not going to stress about it, right? And we love to travel. Health and travel are like our biggest passions. I'm not going to stress about sleeping in an Airbnb that's using laundry detergent that I would never use in my own home. Our bodies are meant to like a certain level detox out the toxins. Well, we live in such a toxin burdened world. Then my whole thing is like, let's just do what we can, and to make those simple steps. So we're not going to do it all at once. If someone's just getting started in this, you're not going to like throw out your entire pantry and your entire cleaning closet. I mean, some people do that, but just simple steps, making simple switches are just a really impactful way to have a really positive impact on our health. Mental, physical, everything. It's all connected, right? So I just want to like preface that, because I was, I'm very like, oh, this is toxic, ditch the dryer sheets.
But it is a big picture. It's a big picture. And when people are struggling with emotional imbalances and weight imbalances, that's become a really big thing. And people have struggling with their weight and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm dieting, I'm going to the gym, I'm trying to stay active, I'm drinking my water. But then you watch what they're doing behind the scenes, and they just cannot believe that their laundry detergent or that their dish soap has been washed in hot water, then it's being rinsed. How can that be affecting me? My mom has always used it. My cousin uses it.
Yes.
So we have we justify it, and then we use our intelligence to find verification and make sure that it's proven that that's not it. So that's kind of an interesting space.
Yeah.
What is one tool that you would say, okay, if you're new on this path, just do this one thing? I think I would say my takeaway would be what you've said, but I want to see if you say what I said.
Yeah. Are you specifically referring to like cleaning stuff?
Well, anything. If somebody were to be like, okay, I want to make 1 or 2 changes in my home right now. I don't want to dump everything out of my pantry. I'm not going to overly stress myself out. What's 1 or 2 things that will have the most significant effect with the least amount of stress or having to change things out? What would you say it would be?
Can I say 2 things?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Okay, because I think it goes hand in hand. But so to have something more tangible, I would say laundry. Your laundry room is the first room that
That's
you
what I
should
thought
clean
you were
out.
gonna say. Yep.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
is it safe to go to Costco and get unscented, on this, on
No.
that? No, even if it
Unfortunately
says that
not.
it's natural.
No. So
Okay.
here's the thing. Okay, so I have a couple tips there. So one, a lot of okay, I will say a couple things about this. The one with say Tide Free and Clear. That's a common one. People say, well, I use Tide Free and Clear, so it doesn't have any of this stuff in it. They actually add chemicals to remove the fragrance. It's really not any better. But I will say that when we see things like that, when we see big companies like Tide creating products like that, that's a good sign, because that's showing they're not going to do that if the market isn't demanding that. So to me, that's really encouraging, because it's showing that people are looking for cleaner products, whether they're cleaner or not on our shelves. That's
Fair
another thing.
enough.
But
Fair enough.
there is a push towards that, which I'm very grateful to see. So if you want to use products in the United States, unfortunately in the US, there are no regulations. There's over like 1,400 chemicals in say Europe that are banned, that are in our everyday products here. The standards are very different here. But what I tend to recommend is for people, if you're just going to go to the store and try to find the cleanest product, EWG, the Environmental Working Group, so it's ewg.org. You can go on there and you can scan a product or search a product, and it will give you a rating, like A to D, or A to F, I think. And to be honest, I don't use it very often, because I now make my own laundry stuff. I've used H2O's forever, and then I just started making my own, which is so simple. Like seriously,
How do you
everyone
make your
could do
own?
it.
Tell us all right now. That
Yes.
can be
Okay,
a
I'll
takeaway,
take
because
it.
we only have about 4 minutes left.
Oh gosh. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
Yeah,
We
no,
could talk about this stuff forever. So
I know. Me
yeah,
too.
so
That's why I have a timer on. Otherwise, I would
I
just
know.
keep going.
And this is the thing too. Like, yes, there's this cleaning thing, but like the approach that I take is like, this is like one little sliver of the whole picture.
Yes.
So anyway, but as far as making it, there's several recipes you can go online. I would suggest going to the recipe that I use is if you go to wellnessmama.com. If you just search in laundry powder, she has a good recipe. It's just a combination of borax, which for a long time I thought was toxic. I didn't think that was a safe product, but you can get a pure version that doesn't have any synthetic fragrances. That's a clean one. Just don't eat it. Like,
right.
Don't put it, so borax, washing soda, you just get on Amazon, a bar of grated soap. I just pick up a bar of soap from Whole Foods. And then that is where, and then I also use your essential oils. I do lavender and orange are my go-to. I have actually started my own little line called Nora's Naturals. So I make up little jars. So if anyone wants any, when I'm making a batch,
How
I'm
could
happy
people
to.
find that? How would they find Nora's Naturals?
Good question. So it's not like listed on a website anywhere. You can contact me directly. My website is bewellandthrive.co. You can reach out to me on there, and I'd be happy to get you in touch with a jar. But seriously, it's so easy. Just make your own. But if you don't want to, mine do have a cute little label on them, and it's Nora's my daughter. So it's, we make it together. It's really fun. So yeah, I would say laundry is a good one to start with. The other thing I was going to say is, it's a simple thing, but like a big, there's so much around us, but the thing that I just keep coming back to time and time again is that our bodies really are innately designed to heal and thrive. And so stressing too much about it, like, it's not going to do any good. And so, just trusting that your body can heal, making the best choices that you can, but just knowing and trusting that your body is so intelligently designed, so beautifully designed. I'm saying this like I could almost tear up, like as I'm pregnant, and we had our ultrasound on Monday, and we could see this baby that I'm like, I've just been living my normal life, and all of a sudden I have like arms and legs and an organ and like all these things that, I could see the heart beating, like we could see it beating. It's like our bodies know what to do. And so trusting that, and when you're in that, like these everyday choices that we make, and like you know which choice to make that's best for your body. And sometimes it might be like the best one that the natural health people will say, but your body knows what to do. So that's what I'd say.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So laundry soap would be the first thing that you would change out.
Yeah.
And then not stressing about it and being overly OCD. Those are the two. Just become curious, become aware, start Googling simple solutions to natural living. And do you have any recipes or things on your website that you just gave us on your
Oh, good question. So on my blog, I do have a recipe for homemade toilet bowl cleaner.
Oh,
My blog
beautiful.
is my blog is pretty,
It's kind of coming back alive, right? You're bringing
yeah,
it
it's coming
back to
back
life.
alive, but I like, I talk about travel. I'm actually currently working on a blog right now. I'm going to be posting in the next week on sunscreen and ditching sunscreen, and actually the healing benefits of the sun, and just a lot of this like messaging we've heard about fearing the sun. I'm like totally like turning it upside down. So I write about
Yes.
a lot of other things, but as far as recipes go, the only one I have on there currently is for toilet bowl cleaner. Super easy. You can go to Pinterest though and find anything. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I run out of a product, I go to Pinterest, and it's like usually a lot of the same ingredients, just different proportions and things.
Yes.
So baking soda is a product I see a lot, so that's a good thing to have on hand. Epsom salts.
You
That's a
said
good thing.
something about
Hmm.
sunscreen, and I'm going to be
Yeah.
having an official summit talk with two
Uh-huh.
different people. One is Dr. Jacqueline, who's my fave
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
functional medicine doctor, and then another is a woman by the name of Riley, and she's also a gut specialist.
Oh,
And
cool.
both of them talk about the fact that we don't get skin cancer
Hmm.
because of the sun. We
Right.
get it because of our gut biome. We get it because of our hormone imbalances.
Yep.
We get it. Like that blew me. I kind of
Hmm.
always knew to some degree, but I didn't realize how connected it was to gut biome. And gut biome is being affected by all the toxins that
Yes,
even when
it's
you're
all
wearing in your
connected.
clothes.
Yep.
Like if I have laundry detergent that is poor quality, that is going to affect my gut
Yes.
health. That's
Yep.
going to affect my emotions. That's going to affect how I respond to other people and whether or not I have a strong immune system. Nora, this is amazing. Or Nora, I'm calling you your daughter's name. I don't know how that happened. This is amazing information for people. And I like that you pull up full circle. Don't freak out.
Hmm.
Don't stress yourself out. Just
Right.
become aware and curious and make one change this week. See how it goes. Make another
Absolutely.
change in 2 or 3 weeks. See how it goes. And then it will create its own snowball effect.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. And
And,
so
and,
feel
and do
free to,
these products that you're making at home, do they really work as good as the stuff that you're buying?
yes. Okay. I have to say, I was obsessed with H2 at Home, my company, for a long time. Like, I was so loyal. Everything was like the best. And I will say, the laundry powder I'm making now, I actually like better than our laundry
Right.
powder. Yes. It's really,
I
so
do that
it,
with my face
yep.
care. Like I make
Yep.
my own face spritz and my own lotion, and
Yeah.
I have used everything from Estee Lauder to Dr. Hauschka to this and
Hmm.
that natural. I like mine
Yep.
the best.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it doesn't
And I
have all
make
the
my
extra
own tooth
stuff.
powder, and it's
Nice.
better than
Yeah.
anything. And I've gone back to toothpaste when I run out of the tooth powder and I don't get around to making it. I'm like, oh, my teeth feel
Hmm.
so slimy. I don't like it. It is
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. It's so true. It is. We seem to think we have to buy all this stuff in the store that has no, but I mean, I make our own hand soap. I make my own body wash for my daughter.
Yeah.
We make toilet bowl cleaner, our laundry powder, our counter cleaner. Like literally I don't buy anything in the store. I haven't for a long time, but after my company closed,
And
but
it just
yeah,
smells so fresh as you're
it
doing it. It's a
does.
different style.
Yep.
It's not bleachy. And
Right.
again, I don't like that sterile
Mm-mm.
scent.
No, I don't either. It's not clean. It's a
Yeah.
nasty. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
interesting.
so but
Okay.
I'll be
We
posting
could
more.
talk
So
all day long.
yeah.
So again, give us your website so people can start to follow your blog and get a little more
Yeah.
information from you. And that is?
It's Be Well and Thrive, all spelled out. So BEWELL and THRIVE
Perfect.
.co. Yeah, so feel free to reach out to me there. I also, I update. I'm not. It's not like every week, but every couple weeks I put up a new post. And I do. I mean, I don't know if it's okay to say this. I do see clients, like on a small amount of clients, but I'm a stay home mom for the most part. But so
Perfect.
like
And so if
sometimes people
people
need
wanted to
that
get,
support.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
And like,
Especially somebody who can say, it's not just about the state of affairs. It's your
mhm,
state of consciousness, and your state of
yeah.
consciousness is being affected by
Hmm.
your daily habits and rituals, things
Hmm.
that you might have thought were healthy, things that
Yeah.
you might have thought were approved by the FDA
Hmm.
or that your
Hmm.
mom or sisters use.
Hmm.
That I feel like our bodies are coming to critical mass, and
Hmm.
those who are more sensitive just can't take in the toxins that other people can. And that's
Hmm.
not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
Absolutely. Right.
expunging them.
Right.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you
Yeah.
for. What people don't know is that we started this conversation, had to stop it because we had internet issues. You were behind this glorious scenery and Colorado blue skies, but instead we had to kind of move you. So I really appreciate your time in
Yeah,
this.
no
And
problem.
people reach out. She is so fun. Just her energy is vivacious, and you know, you go in for mental health conversations and you come out just with a whole different perspective on holistic living, and it's fun and joyful. As you can see, she's very infectious. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jeanette, for your time.
Thanks for
So
having
good.
me.
And we'll have a cup of tea together real soon.
Sounds good. Thanks so much. Thanks
Sounds
for having
wonderful.
me.
Thank you. All
All
right,
right.
bye.
Bye-bye.